I have spent 30 years staring at the canvas, the drawing board, trying to capture things we can't always see. But the most powerful thing I've learned isn't about paint. It's about what happens when you look away from the canvas and start seeing the world, sometimes in numbers. If you've been saying 1111 lately, I want to tell you why from the perspective of a realist dreamer. So most people think signs are woo-woo, but I've had so many. And after 3 decades of creating art, the last 16 years of creating through the lens of grief and growth, I have realized that signs are actually so in tune with what we're needing. 1111 is a pattern, and in art, patterns create harmony. In life, patterns create sacred hellos from the universe. So after my mom died, I started seeing 1111. I had never given it 1 second of thought before that. I didn't know what people said it meant. I wasn't expecting it. It simply started showing up. So I started searching what it meant. And some of the things said, tune into your master knowing. It's a sign from spirit or a sign to pay attention that how you are interacting with your bigger picture life, your bigger plan. So for me, I took that as a sign from my mom and also a sign that I was on the right track of just living my soul's true purpose. And I took it as a clue to realign. If I ever saw that, I would take a moment and I would tune inward and I would get really clear about what I was feeling, what was happening around me, how did my body feel, what had I just been talking about or thinking about when that showed up. Now, the biggest time 1111 played a role was, it was September of 2010, and TMI here, but I'm going to the bathroom ready to go to bed, and I'm peeing. I'm 9 months pregnant, and I think I just felt a little extra liquid. Kind of your worst nightmare because you're already peeing and you're not sure. So I'm like, okay, I'll just pay attention. So I go to bed and I tell my husband, I think my water was leaking. I'm not sure. And I lay down and I say, I started to feel kind of a contraction. I'm like, yep, I think that was it. My body is definitely, something's happening. And I think to myself, so now at this point, my mom passed away in 2009. So it's about a year and a half after she passed. So I'm very much in full tuned into a relationship with spirit, with my mom, with my spirit guides, all of that. And so as I'm laying there and I'm like, Mom, help me out here. Give me a sign. And it was like slow motion. So I have this contraction. I go to stand up and I'll never forget. I look over and we had one of these old fashioned clock, like alarm clock type things. And I look and the clock slowly ticks over to 11:11 and my water goes gush. And I was like, all right, thank you, Mom. Now, obviously my mom didn't break my water, but that moment in having me be in tune and seeing the 11:11, I just felt her presence there, which was the greatest gift, to feel her as part of bringing my son into the world, into a world that didn't include my mom. And that thought was unfathomable to me at that moment. Everything went smoothly. My son ended up being born in our bed. We never made it to the hospital. Whole other story. He was fine and great. Everything went okay. But 11:11 has played this role ever since. So I started paying attention to that, whether it was feathers, cardinals, the 11:11 coins. After my mom passed, actually at her funeral, there was 2 eagles that followed us from the funeral overhead all the way to the about 5 miles away where she was buried. They kind of followed along. And I see eagles every time I go to see my dad. I have eagles visit. Now, I have no idea. It doesn't necessarily feel like a connection to my mom. It feels maybe a more connection to a grandparent. My grandpa was in the Army. Can't imagine him being super connected with giving signs. So I don't really know, but I pay attention to it, and it happens all the time. So the point of this video, when 1111 appears, it's not just a lucky moment. It's really an invitation to tune inward. It's a sign that your dreamer side is aligned with your realist actions. It's a sign to remember that you aren't walking this path alone. That spirit is giving you the nudge that you are exactly where you need to be. I have created a artwork series for the last 10 plus years called Sacred Hellos. And it's all about the signs we get and the connection to that. And I wanted to put together this free, short 5-page PDF. And it's all about the realist guide to Sacred Hellos. It's what to do when you think you get a sign, how to track those signs. It has a form you can use to track them, some inspiration. I'm going to put the link in the description. You can download it. It's free. I mostly think it's important to know that you're not crazy. If you're seeing these, you have this feeling, and it doesn't matter if anyone else believes you or not. Simply pay attention to what that is. Pay attention to yourself and feel the moment. There were times where I would just close my eyes and I would feel and just be like, "Hi, Mom. Thank you for tuning in." And I would just imagine her as part of that day. I'd imagine her as going on our adventure with us that day, or the ride to my appointment. And she's visited me in dreams. This whole other story. It's just been this beautiful sensing her around me that in the darkest days after losing her carried me through. And there were so many times where I unexpectedly got a sign, and it would simply let me know that it was going to be okay, that there's a bigger picture to everything, that even when we're in the thick of it, there's something bigger at play. And sometimes that's enough. It's a beautiful feeling to imagine them sending love to you. So take that from that sign. So I hope that this was helpful. Keep dreaming, keep your feet on the ground, keep showing up in your life. If you want to hear more about Sacred Hellos or signs, or if there's any signs that you get all the time, share in the comments. This is a subject that I'm fascinated about. I don't talk about it as much anymore because it's been long enough. I've actually written a whole book about it called Sacred Hellos. I'll put that link in the description as well. Just know you're not alone if you get them. And it doesn't matter if anyone believes us or not. It's not about proving it to anybody. Just sit with that knowing and savor it. All right. Thanks so much for watching. I'm glad you're here. Bye.